All right, I'm live. So, down the rabbit hole news is coming on here in a few minutes, 15 minutes, because I guess the Savannah Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie, uh, is they're supposed to they're supposed to submit the ransom money by 5 p.m. Mountain Time, so 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I just can't imagine that they're going to be doing that because really her last message is her last message sounds like they just that they're not believing that it's a real that these people who are asking for all this money has their mother. I don't know. That's the sense that I'm getting. I could be wrong. I mean, like, why would she be? I was just watching Gavin Fish. I was just on his live. Um, and the consensus is they think that it's most people think it's a hoax, and uh, I'm believing that all these messages and ransom notes are coming, with the exception of the idiot out of Los Angeles. The blow up guy Derek, whatever his name was. Oh my God, that was like a hot mess. But I'm thinking that it's probably a hoax, and this may be coming from another country, and that's why it's so. It appears as if they're not able to trace this person or persons, so it could be coming from another country. I mean, that's how I see it. But I mean, they're holding out hope. They still believe that their mother is out there somewhere, but I don't think they're gonna drop that money. And let me make sure I get, because Rabbit is gonna go live here soon. I'm live right now. Oh, there's my Zeusy. So there's Gavin. But and if you could see my banner on my channel, you'll see him, and that's an oil filter that I used, an oil painting filter that I used for him. So, but yeah, the time is near. It's 10 minutes away, less than 15 minutes away. Let's see what Brian
Hey guys, all right, so there's a new statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "We do not have any additional information to release publicly this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to do their work. If and when relevant information becomes available, it will be shared." They say there's going to be no press briefing scheduled right now unless something happens. And then they say many of you observed an active law enforcement presence at the Guthrie residence over the weekend. Yes, we did. That activity will continue tonight and into tomorrow as part of the ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads. So that's interesting there. I don't know if we're going to see them coming back out here. This is all part of the investigative process as the search for Nancy expands and new leads come in. To preserve the integrity of this criminal investigation, details of that process are not being released at this time. It's interesting that they say new leads are coming in. So that's kind of the latest. I'm still outside Nancy's house. I'm just in the car, but I'll keep you guys posted. Hey,
so that's from
guys. All right, so there's a new
Brian Enton, News Nation. He always posts his little shorts on keeping us updated while he's out there on the scene. Yeah, there's Down the Rabbit Hole News. She's going to come live here in a couple of minutes. Oh, actually, she's not coming on until 7:30. Oh, she must have changed her time. So, I don't know. I mean, it seems as if the family is not going to pay that ransom. I wouldn't. Not unless, and it sounds like uh, they do not have uh, a proof of life or a proof of anything except for these messages that are coming through to the local stations, TMZ, whatever. What was it? One of the local stations tip lines, um, and so they must have enough information. And you know what? Those uh, those tips coming in or those ransom notes coming in could actually be by somebody who is close to the investigation. See, I had a theory too when they first came out that it could be some rogue law enforcement person who is, figured how to circumvent any kind of tracing, sending out these ransom notes because they had a lot of details, but a lot of details have been released and leaked. And so, they might be putting two and two together, or it actually might be someone who knows somebody who's feeding information to another. I mean, it could even not even be a law enforcement person, but it could be a person who is attached to a law enforcement person who's talking, just running their mouth, and then that person is, how that goes. So it could be anything. It still could be family. I mean, what distant family do they have? I mean, I had a theory that, because I mean, there have been cases where grandchildren, you know, grown not fully, I mean, in their 20s, who have went after their grandparents, I mean, went after their own parents, but greed. So it could be distant somebody, you just never know with people. I mean, even your own family, you just don't know. And that's what makes it even scarier. I mean, it sounds like Savannah does not have that, like, on her mind or fear. I didn't get a sense of that, because I just didn't get a sense of that. Her body language is a little distant from the sister, but that could just be their relationship. Um, I think that, like, her brother is 61 and she's 50. She just turned 54, so there's a pretty, you know, what is that? Oh, I got to do math now. So 54. So there's a 7-year age gap, and so he was already out the door when she was. So there, but still, brothers and sisters are usually closer than sisters and sisters. I can tell you that. Um, and at the age difference between Savannah and Annie, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. So for a while there, Savannah was like an only child, you know, because the brother probably left. I guess he was in the service. The sister probably left. And so she was probably alone. And she seems, from what have seen in the reports that she was closer with her mother. And that usually happens to the youngest child, right? The baby. And she was a little bit older, the mother. So the third child, you're not as, like, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over them. So you have more of a closer connected relationship. So, so that could explain some of the body language that I picked up on between Savannah and Annie. Um, she seems more attached to her brother, so she might have looked at her brother at, like, a father figure. Well, actually, her father passed when she was 16, so she was already a teen. But even when he passed, she probably gravitated towards her brother as more of a father figure. And also, he was probably away. Um, he would have been in 21 or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just picking up on some sibling dynamics, but that could have absolutely nothing to do with what's happening. It's just their family dynamics, you know. But it's sad. It's scary. I'm sure they're frightened. I'm sure. I mean, geez, that just goes without saying. But I'm just curious on what their decisions are. And probably the FBI is telling them not to. I'm sorry, my hair is just coming apart. I'm sure the FBI is consulting and they have experience in this. This is, I think, even wild for some of them, but I'm sure they're probably like telling them not without any kind of like uh, proof of where their mother is, how they're going to go about this exchange. It just seems so like it's then anybody could do it. And even if they came up with some details that maybe the public didn't know, but somebody knew and is feeding it to them, and somehow it got to them, so you can't even trust that. Or they were able to guess something, but you can't even trust any of that unless there's some kind of live feed. And again, you can't even trust that because with the AI, it's just craziness with this AI, and it's getting more and more sophisticated and more difficult to kind of discern. Is that AI or is that real? So it's scary. It's like just so scary. When it first came out, God, it was so long ago. And I remember they would do, and I think something with Tom Cruise or whatever. There was some kind of AI. I mean, or spoofing or whatever. And that was years ago. And now it's like everywhere. So, um, but I don't know. I hope I hope there's a resolution. That's all I have to say. But I was gonna watch. I was gonna watch. Yeah. So you have reporting live from my sofa, the podcast with. Okay, Paul's going live at 7. Yeah, the countdown comes to a close. I mean, I just really don't think that they're gonna pay it. I just don't. So, what a horror. I mean, I was thinking, and I mentioned it in Gavin's live, that maybe it was and I think I mentioned it here, home health aide, somebody with a medical background that had been casing and planned it, and but still doesn't. I don't know. Like say so the ransom deal, and so they have medical background, so they're able to take care of her. Reason that they didn't take the medication, that they know what to do in her situation, and they have the means to do it, to take care of her. But I don't know. That just seems kind of out there, and I don't know. Like Clutch Them Pearls, they're still on live. I didn't click on it. Um, Yeah, nobody, and you know what? And Gavin mentioned this too, because it's true. Like in his live stream, when, like yesterday, like a few days ago, there were thousands of people on his live stream, thousands. And now it's dropped. Like, you know. So what's happening because it's a frenzy and everybody wants instant gratification, and then interest is lost quickly. Like it's like, you know, I mean, this lasted for a long time, a week, and people are starting to lose interest. So they're going to start pulling back from watching these streams and the videos and everything, and so they're pulling back from it. So, which is a shame. I mean, it happens more and more because there's so much stuff going on, and people just move on to the next thing. This held out a little bit longer because it's so bizarre. Unless something happens significant, people are going to move on to the next thing. Um, they're already moving on. Hopefully, my volume's okay, but I guess it doesn't matter because nobody's here but me, but I don't care. it'll be up on my channel and in my playlist, just memorializing me for future people who may be interested in what's going on in February of 2026. And actually, it's February 9th, 2026. So I should always date it because I always like to know some of the dates and stuff because, if YouTube's still around, you know, decades from now, people will just, and I don't know, I already talked about YouTube going off on a different trajectory because now corporations are starting to move in. So it's going to change it for us viewers who, don't have the kind of resources or funding to be paying membership fees for anybody we want to watch. And hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't do that. And they just keep it like kind of an open source for videos and then people who want, because there's plenty of people who do pay for the memberships. I mean, I have yet to pay for a membership. I've gotten gifted memberships. I'm tempted to do a membership for Down the Rabbit Hole News, but I do pay for YouTube Premium, excuse me, Premium because the ads are off the chart. They're just off the chart. And there's no rhyme or reason. If they had rhyme or reason for them, it would be okay, but they're just like crazy. And then they do it in live stream, so then it just interrupts. It's off the charts. So there was a special, so I, or a trial period, and so I signed on and I figured I'll just do the trial period because I'm infamous for doing that. But I stuck with it because YouTube is my main source of everything. I cut the cable 25 years ago. I stopped with the cable because it was getting stupid. And then you get 1,000 channels, and 990 of them were, as seen on TV, paid uh, promotional paid channels. It was like seriously, and then just ridiculous. So I cut the cord. It's got to be 25 years. And then 20 years ago when YouTube started, or 21 years ago, so it's 2005, that's when I started watching it. Right when it came live, I started watching it. So yeah, I do like streaming services sometimes. Like if I get a promotional or trial, I'll do it. If I come across a show that I really like, but it's rare. Right now, YouTube is the main. And I do have over the air TV. I finally, in the move, I couldn't find my magic TV antenna. I finally found it. So, but it's just all junk TV. I mean, every now and then I'll find a good channel, but whatever. Mainly YouTube. But I think I'm just going to get off because maybe I'll pop back on when Rabbit's on. And I don't know. I'm just not seeing anything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Surviving the Survivor. He's coming on at 7. Oh my God, everybody's coming on at 7. But I can tell you the viewership is going to be down. Val Evans, she's coming on at 9. She's a psychic. Or what is she? I think she's a psychic. Yeah. I mean, we've got a couple channels coming on at 7. Rabbit's coming on at 7:30. Um, I'm on. Gavin's still on. Let's see. Let's see. Titanium Built. Is she live right now? Oh, she was live. Yeah, I guess I'll just move along. Now I'm going to get addicted to doing lives and just live stream because it's so easy. You don't have to do any uploads or editing. Just live stream and then just go. I mean, you can edit if you want. You have an option to edit, but I'd like to do videos, and do some nice editing and stuff. I mean, I am retired. I was going to school, but the move changed that. I mean, I got multiple degrees and I was working on my digital art and technology degree, and I had to put a hold on that, and I will get back to that soon. Not right now, though. Kind of chilling and being retired. But I'm trying to think what else. That's it. I mean, it's sad. It's 7:07. Okay, let's see what.
4 minutes ago. It's 5 p.m. in Tucson. Here's where things stand. The search for 84-year-old Nancy goes on 9 days after her disappearance. Today, host Samantha Guthrie released a new video. They're saying that we believe our mom's still out there. Guthrie's potential abductor or abductors demanded $6 million by 5 p.m. Monday. Law enforcement had visited the homes of Nancy and her daughter Annie over the weekend. Then, why would investigators search a septic tank near Nancy Guthrie's home?
This is reporting live from my sofa with Paul. I've been subscribed to him for years now. So yeah, he was talking about. So I don't know that it was a septic tank. I mean, it was kind of gross because the guys, I think they had gloves on. They didn't take them. Anyway, I don't think it was a septic tank. I think it was a well. Um, and so I think they were checking the tank, and they were just probing to see, you know, they were just probing because there was a manhole. Maybe they were just probing to see if anything was thrown in there. But I don't know. I don't think it was a septic tank. I think it was. I could be wrong. Anyway, gray water. Could it be a gray water tank? Um, I don't think it was a black water tank, but I could be wrong. But they did check that. So they went to Nancy's house. They checked that. They checked around the area again. They did go to Annie's house and they did do some what looks like maybe some luminol testing, taking pictures, checking the garage, uh, you know, and it was consensual. So they're just doing their due diligence, which really they should have done this like day one. Day one, they should have been day one and two, they should have checked everything, every square inch of that exterior and interior for cameras, because I have interior cameras and exterior cameras. So they should have checked everywhere and not released that house ever. Now there's private security and regular security. I don't know, there's multiple security agencies out there watching, but and you're talking 8 days later, and now or even 5 days later or 2 days later, 3 days later, they're doing all this stuff, which is poor police work in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it looks like poor police work because if something happens and they catch a person and they go to court, and they'll be like, the defense attorney will be all over that, all over it. So just saying, it's making it harder.
I mean, to me, that's just like, why haven't they done it already? Is the better
See,
headline, right?
that's what
Okay.
Paul is saying.
The recent examination of a septic tank near Nancy's Arizona home indicates investigators are leaving no stone unturned in the search. At least 2 investigators were seen examining the septic tank. When asked about the probe, the sheriff's department echoed earlier statements saying detectives and agents continue to conduct follow-up and multiple
Yeah.
Oren and Orson. So remember how that happened? And it was like a weird story, right? These two little boys just wandered out in the yard.
Oh yeah, those little boys. That's so sad. That they were like adopted by a distant relative. Those little boys, Orson and I forget the other boy's name. Sorry. That was so sad. They never found them though. They never found them. Sad. Let's see, Gisela. I don't think Gisela's alive. Gisela from Grizzly True Crime. No, she is not live. I think she did a short. Oh, okay. She's got a number here.
February 9th of 2026, and at around 1:30 p.m. in Tucson, Arizona, the daughter of missing 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie posted a new video.
Okay, so let's see if she had the phone number there. There's a phone number that you can call.
I know that they're also putting billboards up in different states. FBI. I really hope that there will be answers and that Nancy will be found
This is Gisela.
And I will keep you posted. I'm following all the updates. If you haven't seen my latest video, I'll link it here for you. You can click somewhere over here. You should see a title of a video and it will take you to that one.
Okay, so the number is, if anybody's listening or catches this, 1-800-CALL-FBI. Any information, anything. Even if you think that it's not important, 1-800-CALL-FBI. So it's 1-800-CA. Okay, so 1-800-22 55 3 2 4. Right? 1-800-CALL-FBI. Just saying. Anything. And the one thing that kind of concerned me too when they were first putting out there, if you have any video, look at your Ring camera, if you have all that stuff, blah blah blah, what they really should have done is turned it in, because some guy, one of the neighbors, said, oh yeah, me and my wife looked and we didn't see anything. But they don't know what to look for. Law enforcement, FBI, they know what to look for. So there could have been something, and they just thought, no, that's nothing. So they really should have really should have asked people to turn their stuff in. And but they didn't. I think they eventually did, but by that time now stuff is getting overwritten. People who don't have the cloud and maybe upload to the SD, like it uploads to my SD card, which I can get on my phone, which I could save into my SD card and keep it, or just not keep it. So like the SD cards in these little cameras are tiny. I mean, you can get bigger. You can get it's 29 gigabytes, which is a lot, but it goes quick. And then you can pick and choose. I used to have a subscription to one of my things, but right now I'm just using SD cards. And I'll probably get a subscription and or a bigger SD card, but I could go through and I save. I mean, I could get live feed. I have live feed always. And that's mainly because I got these cameras for my dogs and the Ring camera. And then it's to make sure that they were okay and everybody was doing okay. So I got cameras years ago. But I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. And I think I'm going to get off here. What time is it? Let's see. But nobody's really coming on. Like I said, let's see. Because there was a couple of people that were going live. I'll wait until Rabbit comes on and then I'll get on with her. Courtroom Confidential. I think Josh is there. I think Josh from Courtroom Confidential, I think he went there. He lives close by. I mean, he doesn't live close by. He lives in LA, but I mean, he could drive there. I thought I saw somewhere where he was live on the scene. Um, Surviving the Survivor.
And I keep in mind that the victim in this case
This
is
is
the
Surviving
map
the Survivor.
for investigators to be able to understand exactly what is happening. Why did Nancy Guthrie become a victim of what appears to be a violent crime? The simple answer is because it meets the needs of the offender. Now, that can be extrapolated into what we call some type of a conflict resolution benefit matrix, which is something that we utilize here at LPA to understand
Titanium's coming on
very
at
simplistic terms.
Titanium's coming on at 7:35. Just how ransom works. Yeah, there's always a lot of misinformation um, coming down the pike. Even in chats that I was in, like just way off the mark. Like I'm like, where are these people getting this information? It's just like, you know, somebody said, oh, Annie had two kids, but there's no record of that. The only record she has one kid. Um, they said something about maybe it's Savannah's ex-husband. Well, this is her second husband. They were saying Savannah's divorced from her current husband. No, she's not. She was married to a Brit back in 2009 for a couple of years. They got divorced, so this marriage is our second marriage. They're still together. Um, I mean, just small little details that people are just getting like all twisted. Uh, and then, of course, they're digging around and they're trying to find dirt on the brother in law, Tommaso. And they're saying that because he's in a heavy metal band, he's sus. No, he's not. Um, in a heavy metal. No, being in a heavy metal band does not make you sus. Um, and I saw there was a video of one of their gigs, and they are just like so not like grunge heavy metal. They're just not. Um, and the way they depicted it. Now, Annie is a poet, and she did write a poetry book, some uh, mystic stuff, anything. But yeah, so they're just making, because he's in a heavy metal, and I don't know, just crazy assumptions. I mean, we all do it. I do it. You look at things and you judge from where you're at, and that's how that goes. But it can ruin people's lives. So hopefully people will back off, because Ashley, what she did was so wrong. It was so wrong, because if they have absolutely zero to do with this, that's a stain on too. So that's a stain on him. And they have a young child, and people are crazy. People are like insane with their judgments. So, but she ruined his life. I saw something come across my feed from Radar Online that the family was um, exploring taking, and that could be another, assumption by, you know, by um, their people, their sources, that they were exploring a lawsuit against Ashley. Um, to me, Ashley and Savannah uh, were not friends. I'm sure Savannah was very friendly, but I just don't see them as being friends. I could be wrong. Um, Ashley comes off to me as a backstabber, and just somebody who's just wanting to climb the ladder and will backstab to get there. I mean, duh. She wants, to succeed in her independent stuff, but with the help of News Nation. Um, so she's willing to endanger not only Savannah's mother's life, putting that stuff out there, her sister's life, her brother-in-law's life, but jeopardized the investigation. She was willing to do that for views and clicks. And now she's being all like butthurt, like, but it's my impeccable source and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no. You just don't do that because nobody else really reported on it. Like, some of them will low key report on it, but nobody else came straight out with that. And she's just all defensive. And I'm sorry, I just really, that was just like so poor. And then Harvey in TMZ, doing the whole ransom thing. But I'm starting to think that they were given the okay to do that through the FBI, that they were actually given the okay to give tidbits of that ransom note. So, and then when he was reading when he was reading from the paper, and there was a number coming through, and Charles was trying to block it. Oh no, you're showing that number. That number was for the tip line for the cops. That was the local station number, because it was a 4900 number. So at first I was like, oh my God, Harvey, but no, it was I think it was the tip number. So it wasn't anything, nobody's personal number. But what Ashley did was bad. So a lot of people, came after her for that. We'll see. I hope she's wrong. And I hope she pays the price for it, because Savannah's family is going to pay the price for it. It's just unbelievable. Anyway, let me see one more thing, and then I'm going to get off here. Because again, I'm just talking to myself, pretending like I have an audience out there. But that's okay, because I don't know if that would show me if somebody was watching. I don't know. I don't see anybody. I see 0. So 0 views. But let's see. Courtroom Confidential. Oh, Gavin's going to be on. Oh, okay. Gavin's going to be on Courtroom Confidential. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm just going to get off here and do my thing, because I have to get some good rest tonight. Oh, I wonder if this thing shows up. Probably not. I don't think my mouse pointer shows up. It might. But I'm looking forward to maybe having some fun with my my lives. Maybe. I don't know. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to get off, and I'm going to go check out Rabbit. Have a good one. If you watch this or see this, thank you. Bye.